Hey everyone, Jeremy here. Merry Christmas. It's a little bit early for Christmas, but it's Christmassy season or whatever it is that you celebrate. I'm not here to judge. But for me, it's Christmas, and I wanted to create like a Christmas inspired painting tonight. I wanted to practice my painting skills. They're not really up to par yet, but I just wanted to experiment and see how it goes. So I thought I'd do a live stream. It is Tuesday night. Sometimes I do live streams on Tuesday nights, so I'm just gonna go with it. You guys may have seen my post where I mentioned that, like, because of the Christmas season, it's a little sporadic on whether or not I'm going to do a live stream or not. Like, I'm not going to do one this Friday because I already have something I've got to do. But tonight we're going to paint, so we'll just jump right into it. I see that Larry's already in the chat. That's cool. If anybody else wants to chime in, I'm here to chat while I paint. All right, so what are we working on tonight? So like I said, I kind of have this idea for this Christmas painting. I don't know how it's going to go because it's a little bit involved. There's a couple of things going on in it. But it was kind of inspired when I was setting up my Christmas tree and my cat was eyeing it and was like, I'm going to tear that down as soon as you're not looking. So my idea is that I would kind of have a cat over here staring up at like kind of a Christmas tree. So like I said, there's a lot going on. You got a cat in it. You're going to have a Christmas tree. You're going to have some ornaments on the tree. Hopefully, if everything goes right, I don't know if I can get it all done tonight, but I'm at least going to get it started. So if you guys just want to hang out, watch somebody try to paint, try to practice the painting, then this is the right channel for you. So, hey, kids in here too. Cool. We've got a party. So I'm just going to jump right in. Like I said, I got the idea that there's going to be a cat in this scene, but I want to get started on the background, which it's going to be kind of lit up with like a lot of yellows and stuff like that. So I'm going to start with this, like, I think it's like yellow ochre and stuff. And I kind of want the center of it to be that color, and then I can work with that, maybe kind of like put in some lights or something like that. And then it kind of comes out to like some dark areas on the side. I kind of want my cat to be, if I can get the cat hair out of my brushes, I kind of want the cat to be somewhere around here. Get the brush hairs off. Anyway, cat's gonna be somewhere around here, at least the head of it is, and then kind of it'll fluff down through here, so I kind of want to block that in. Oh, you're just getting over the flu. Yeah, it's that season. Everybody I know is sick and got coughs and stuff. I've been lucky enough to avoid it so far, but I know I'm gonna get it. I always do. Every year I get the flu shot. That doesn't matter. Like, it's not like I'm here to tell you not to get the flu shot because it's dumb or something like that. But it, like, I get the flu shot just, to do it, and it never works. I always get the flu anyway. So I'm glad that you're feeling better. So anyway, I'm just putting down some yellow color to kind of block out where my kitty's going to be, which I think it'll be over here. I'm trying to keep it somewhat dry, not like too wet, because I'm not using watercolor paint. I'm not using watercolor paper, sorry. I'm using kind of like a mixed media paper, which I think will be fine, but we'll see. Anyway, idea is to make a big mess and then kind of work from there. But anyway, hopefully, except for Kid, who's just getting over her sickness, everybody else is enjoying the holiday season. I know I've already done a few holiday things. I'm not like a real churchgoer or anything like that. That's just not me. But I went to this place that had kind of like a nativity scene. They had, like, I don't know, like animals and stuff like that out there. They stole they they didn't steal. They told the story of like Bethlehem, all of that stuff. That was pretty cool. Got to listen to some Christmas music, eat some cookies, tis the season and stuff. Oh, this was the first year you didn't get the flu shot. Well, there you go. But like, those things are hit or miss. I always wonder, because I always end up getting the flu anyway. I always wonder, like, what I missed by getting the flu shot. Like, would I've gotten sick more than once or something? I don't know. But I always end up getting sick anyway. I don't think I ever got the COVID. I'm all fully shotted up on the COVID thing. I know that's like controversial, but for me, it made sense to get the shots, and I got all of those. And I don't think I've gotten COVID, but I still get the flu every year. It sucks. But here, I'm not here to preach. If you don't want to get the shots, don't get the shots. I just know for me, I get the shots and it doesn't matter. You've never had the flu shot? Yeah. I always get sick whenever I get the flu shot. Like this year, I decided just for convenience to go ahead and get like the flu shot and the COVID booster at the same time. That knocked me out for like a full day. Like basically, I might as well have gotten the flu because I was like, I don't know, I get like these like headaches and stuff from that. It's not a pretty sight, and the chills and all that stuff. It's so weird because it doesn't kick in until like I don't know, like right when I go to bed, and then I end up getting like the chills and all that stuff. But anyway, whether you got the shot or not, whether whether you plan to get sick or not, I hope all of you guys have a nice, healthy holiday season. And, you know, for those of you who are sick out there, I hope you guys get better soon. This looks like a mess, I know. Hopefully it'll end up looking better. Usually does. I'm starting to regret not using the watercolor paper, but I'm not really planning on using watercolor a lot for this. I'm going to switch to gouache here in a little bit, and I think gouache works well on this mixed media paper, so we'll see how it goes. Just going to kind of get some dark areas in over here, just to kind of figure out where the tree might be. I don't like this brush very much, but it's one of my bigger brushes, so just using it to kind of fill in the thing. So I thought there might be some like Christmas gifts over here in the corner. See how that goes. Definitely up here. Kind of blend that in a little bit. I kind of want to use, yeah, kind of use some paint strokes that kind of like go down. Because like there's going to be kind of a window up here. And down here, I think it'll get a little bit darker. Hey, Larry. I mean, Tyler, sorry. You were saying hi to Larry. It kind of confused me. I have been drinking tonight. It is the holiday season. And, you know, that means that, I mean, I still got like a lot of work to do and stuff like that, but it's winding down a little bit, starting to relax a little bit. So, you know, daytime drinking for me. Some browns down here. I don't usually do like when I do like little illustrations like this, I don't usually do like a 9 by 12 picture. So I don't know how long this is going to take, but I think it's going to work out. All right, so I am going to just kind of use a little bit of this, not that. Let me clean my brush there. I'm going to use like a little bit of this to kind of block in where the kitty starts down here in the corner. Should probably switch to a different brush, but and then I think there might be like a blanket down here for the kitty to be sitting on. You know how cats like to curl up with blankets and all that jazz. Of course, kitty's furry, so I don't mind putting in these rough strokes. So up here, I should have left some white because I think the kitty's going to be kind of extending out a little bit more. Anyhow. Yeah. All right. So we'll figure this out. Again, this is just practice night. So like if you're looking for like tips on like being a great painter and stuff, you're probably not going to find them tonight. It's me practicing with the brush essentially and trying to get a painting out of it. You know, you don't really know how to do something until you practice. I'm all self-taught and stuff. So like I kind of have an idea of what I want to do, and then it's a chore to make it happen. So it's going to look rough for a while I figure this out, but I want some branches to kind of come out over here. But if you guys bear with me, I promise you a good painting, even if I have to like scrap it and start over. Hopefully this paper isn't gonna buckle too much, because like I think as it dries it'll kind of straighten out a little bit. So have you guys done anything for Christmas so far? Like there's such a like whenever I talk to people about like what they do for Christmas, I find there's like such a huge range of like holiday traditions for people. Some people they watch movies. They go out, they do things, they go to dinners with family and stuff. I mean, those are the usual stuff. But then everybody seems to have like this one little thing that they do that like nobody really that other people don't really do. Like for me, I don't really go to church all that often. It's just, it's just the way my life works. Um, but I always seem to like do the church thing at Christmas, even though I'm not particularly religious. I make an effort, you know. So celebrate the season the way I look at it. So I do go to that like nativity thing every year and do the cookies and the caroling and all that stuff. I think that's cool. Of course, even though like I also joke, but it's true. Even though like I'm not particularly religious, like around Lent, that's also like when I go to church because they go for their fish fry. They have this amazing fish at this Catholic church in town. So it's like I always go there for that. Those are my two major religious things during the year, but I don't know. Not everybody's into that kind of stuff. Check out the paint strokes. Yeah, it'll get there, guys. I know it looks rough so far, but just because I'm kind of trying to figure out where everything is. So, like over here, there's definitely going to be branches of a Christmas tree. There's going to be a kitty, hopefully. Um, but we'll see how it goes. I'm going to switch brushes just because that brush sucks. Try a flat brush to kind of figure these things out. I'm gonna use this one here. Let's see. So Kitty's head is going to be kind of up here. And then kind of Kitty's going to be staring up. Yeah, if you're curious how this turns into a cat, so am I at this point. But we'll make it happen. You guys never have any confidence that things will work out. I have absolutely unfounded confidence that it will work out. Like I have nothing to base my confidence on. There's no like prior experience here. It could just go as bad, but I don't know. I seem to pull it together. Like that's not to say that every picture I create is like a masterpiece because it's really not. But it ends up looking like something. Because like there's a bunch of wow, I feel like I'm losing my voice talking here, but maybe I'm getting sick. I don't know. I have been out in public a lot more than usual. Like um I've been going so the fun thing for me is in December. Also everybody's birthday is this month. So like my birthday is on December 4th. My dad's is on December 5th. My older brother's, his birthday is on December 11th. So just last night I was at the bar hanging out with my brother. So I've been doing like a lot of it, like socializing, more so than I usually do. So I'm starting to lose my voice apparently. So up here, this is, I know it doesn't seem like it, but this is going to be some curtains. I got all this lint on my brushes. I gotta work on that. So yeah, this is gonna come up here. And a lot of this is just background for like more tree stuff that's going to be over here. Hopefully. We'll see how it goes. Maybe some bulbs in here. I feel like I'm listing off like a wish list of all the things that I want to be in the picture. But hey, thanks, Larry. I appreciate that. Thanks, Tyler. Oh, you're watching Duck Dynasty? I saw in the Discord that you guys were on like a Duck Dynasty marathon thing going on. I've only seen a couple of those episodes. I never really got into it. A lot of people I know watch that, but I never like. Is it about a duck? I'm just kidding. I know that it's about a family. Is that show still on? Like I felt like that show like ended eventually. Get some brown over here. So the backside of this kitty, it's kind of like this brown color. So I'm just gonna kind of sketch that in essentially. Block it in, I guess is the term. I have an ear here. And then the kitty's kind of backlit, so there's going to be some glow around the kitty if I can figure that out. Might have not put enough paint on this palette over here, but we'll sort it out. There we go. But yeah, Duck Dynasty, especially when it first came out. Um, I live in Kentucky, so of course there's a lot of people around here who watch that show. Let's see. So I think this is going to be kind of where the head ends. Right now it kind of looks like was it a Furby or one of those porgs from Star Wars? Kind of looks like a fluffy penguin, but it'll get there. So around here, get a little bit more paint on my brush. So around here, I kind of want, yeah, I think around here, kind of want where the kitty's eyes are, and then it kind of flows into an ear that's going to be over here. Was the only one to binge watch a marathon? Oh, okay, so it wasn't like a group thing. I know there's a group thing where we're all like watching Mr. Robot together, which is a great show. Like, if you guys haven't seen it, it's been out for a while, so like probably if you're interested in it, you've already seen it. But I haven't seen it, and it does seem it is a show that I would be interested in. So I'm kind of surprised that it took me so long to get into Mr. Robot. But if you have a chance, like if you're the least bit interested in computers or programming or hacker culture or any of that stuff, yeah, it's definitely a Furby so far, kid. But we'll try to get something else out of it. Sorry, I dropped a tube of paint. The Furby so far, but that's because I haven't added the non-Furby part. And there's not that much difference between a Furby and a kitty cat anyway. All right, so I'm going to all right, I'm going to stop screwing around and actually get a cat in here. So I'm going to kind of guess that the eyes are going to be around here. So beneath the eye, we've got a little bit of fur coming around. I do want it to kind of be looking up this direction. Yeah, it still looks like a Furby. That's okay. So right now I'm just using some like really thick watercolor paint too. By the way, I'm going to switch to gouache here in a little bit. Like when I get into, you know, like a layer or two up. So I think this is going to be kind of where the other eye is. And then kind of bring this back. It looks like a Furby because I haven't done the underside of his, I'll go ahead and try to do now. Hey, hater. Yeah, yeah, I try to do live streams like twice a week and stuff, but because of the holidays here, it's been kind of like a little bit tough too. So yeah, I wanted to take the opportunity tonight though. So it doesn't look like much yet, but it'll end up looking like something, hopefully. That's the promise at least. I need to add way more water to this. Painting's not really my thing. Like I'm just getting started with it. I'm trying to like learn. I've done a couple of paintings and stuff in the past, so it's not like I'm completely new to it, but it is something that is not something I'm completely comfortable with. So I'm trying to feel my way through it. But you don't learn unless you practice. That's that's been my core philosophy all along. It's been what's getting me through. And I'm completely self-taught. So like, I mean, it doesn't really matter though. Like even if you went to school or something for art, at some point you're practicing. You're not just jumping in, excelling at things. I feel like I'm much better at like drawing than I am at painting. So it's just a different set of skills that, got to get comfortable with. The worst thing that happens is you throw a bunch of paint on a page and then you like throw away the paints and you pull out the colored pencils and you finish it off. But you'll get a finished picture. Like that's guaranteed. Most of you guys probably don't know Hater. I met him on like another stream that Ada artist who comes in here now and then uh, met him on her stream, and he seems like a pretty cool guy. Talk about him like he's not here. He seems like a pretty cool guy. All right, so I think that's probably good there. Maybe get a little bit of that bluish green over here and on the back side of this. Yeah, it does kind of still look like a Furby. It's not supposed to be a Furby, guys. All cats start off looking like Furbies. You'll see. Plus, you know it's an authentic kitty cat because it's got kitty fur in it. Because like I had to turn on my fan because it was a little warm in here, and that's spreading the cat dander all around. So I've got two dogs and a cat in the house. You guys have you guys have seen the dogs pretty often. Every now and then you might see the cat kind of. Sometimes the cat hangs out in here with me. Most times doesn't. I also watch my parents' dog a lot. So, but that dog kind of stays downstairs whenever it's here. Don't really doesn't hang out in here all that much. So authentic Furby. It's not a Furby, guys. All right, so let me switch to the gouache so I can add some details so that you guys can see that it's not a Furby. This is a very uh, abstract background painting at this point. Let me put it in an eye so that you guys get off this Furby thing. Well, it's gonna look like a Furby eye anyway. There's no way I can avoid it looking like a Furby. All right, let me kind of guess where the. Unfortunately, I was hoping for more cues from this background, but I think I think I'm just going to put in an eye like here. And it's going to be a black eye. At first, I'll add like some features to make it like less black. Let's see. I'm not sure of what I'm doing whenever I go quiet. Because that's me thinking like, how do I make this eye look right? But I'll get an eye in here. All right. It kind of looks like an owl right now. Bear's over there. You can kind of see her paws. Let's see. Eh, there they are. There's Bear's paws. If you can see those, they're like little tiny paws. But you know how it is. At the end of the stream, she knows I'm done somehow, and she like wants to make an appearance. I tell you what, Bear is more of a star than I am. Like people don't tune in to watch me; they tune in to watch Bear. That's for sure. All right, so that's one eye, and then the other eye is kind of like off a little bit. So like, put that in there. All right, so there are some like stripes and stuff that kind of come down that's sort of black. So I'm just gonna kind of feel like I need to dust my house every time I go to paint because I get paint all up in my stuff. So there's like a stripe that kind of comes down off this eye. I'm just gonna kind of rough that in just so that it doesn't look like it still looks like an owl though. It looks like a bird. All right, so this probably isn't the right brush for this. Let me go ahead and switch. But this is fun so far. I'm enjoying it. Bring that down. And then all back here is going to be a lot darker. Hopefully I'll get to it tonight, but who is Asher? Oh, Archer. Archer's the cat. I was like, who's Asher? That's a cool name for a cat, though. I should rename the cat to Asher. There was a character like I might have mentioned on this channel before that I like Anne Rice novels. There's a um, there's a character in Anne Rice's novels named Asher. He starts off as kind of like a ghost that becomes like a live creature and stuff. I love that name actually. But the cat is actually named Archer off of the TV show, like Sterling Archer. Spell check, you knew it was Archer. I knew you knew. You just threw me off there for a moment. So this fur kind of comes around. I'll figure it out. Still really early in the painting. After I get the cat done, I still got to get the tree done. All right, so this is the ridge of the. Yeah, we'll figure this out. We'll get a kitty in here. It's starting to look like a kitty to me. It's like, yeah, okay, all right, thanks, Larry. If it, yeah, because I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, it's not perfect yet, but it's starting to look like a kitty. Still looks a bit like an owl, but once you get this form into the cheek here, it starts coming together. It may not be the best kitty in the world, but we're gonna get a kitty in this picture. You guys will see that. It'll be awesome. Yeah. All right. Let me clean that real quick. So I'm gonna might have to clean this palette at some point because I don't have like a lot of room here. I should have used my so I don't I don't spend a lot of time or money on like fancy art supplies and stuff like that. I'm just using like a plate here. So like you don't have to spend a lot of money on like palettes. Like um I don't at least. I've used paper plates, I've used styrofoam plates. Here I'm using a nice ceramic plate, but they're all just plates. I don't think I've ever bought a palette. All right, just because I kind of shot myself in the foot here by making that too dark, I'm going to go ahead and get some of the white in here to just to define this sided cat a little bit better. It looks like I'm going to need a lot of it because it doesn't seem like it's all that opaque. Yeah, there we go. So that would be the side of the face. Again, just kind of blocking in where I think the kitty should be. And then we'll worry about like, so I heard, what are the steps? So like somebody mentioned that the process to painting is shapes, then tone, then color, and then I think like details and stuff like that. And I kind of subscribe to that. Like, they mentioned it, and I started thinking about it. Yeah, like that's that's the common thing that I see. I see people go for like shapes, the big shapes, and then you kind of work your way down to like the smaller shapes and so on. Hey, Whitney, how's it going? So I'm creating a kitty staring up at a Christmas tree, and we're really early in this. It doesn't. We've gone the range of it looks like a Furby to me. I thought it looked like an owl for a little bit, but I think it's starting to look like a kitty. But I'm committed to this. It's going to look like a kitty before I call it a day. I'll stay up all night. I don't care. You guys don't have to watch all night, but I'm going to get a kitty cat out of this. And this kitty cat is going to be staring at this tree like it wants to just demolish it. Because that's the inspiration for it. My own cat, while I was setting up my Christmas tree, was looking at it like it wanted to eat every single piece of that Christmas tree. And this cat even like I've got a reference picture for a cat. It's slightly different than my cat, but it's still like it's more fluffier than my cat. But it still looks enough like my cat to where I feel like I'm okay saying this is my cat. When I gotta add a little bit of yellow to this. But we're just chilling, hanging out, talking about Christmas really, I'm really interested in what you guys do for Christmas. Partly for selfish reasons, because like I've got my things that I do, but I'm always on the lookout for like other things to try, you know? Like for example, the reason I can't do a live stream this Friday is because I'm going to be on a boat in Louisville, and to me that's weird. Like a Christmas riverboat cruise seems like kind of an off thing to do for Christmas. I mean, it doesn't seem like a Christmassy type thing to me. But I'm into trying different things, you know. So let me fluff up above here. So I mixed a little bit of yellow in with some white here just to kind of get an idea of I want light kind of like coming down on this kitty. So I want to kind of give him this like slick back look. I do want him to be looking up, so don't let me screw that up, guys. Like whatever I do, he needs to be staring at that tree like he wants to murder it. I think in 2024, I'm going to do more of this type of stuff, like where I try to tell a story with my art. The story here is this cat wants to murder this tree. So as I continue developing the picture, I want to kind of like really really keep coming back to that story because it helps me with the picture. You know, I don't want to lose sight of like what I'm actually creating here, which is like murderous intent, I guess. All right, so it's starting to look like a kitty to me. So while I got some yellow in here, let me go ahead and add some fluff over here. This right here came in too far, so I kind of want to extend that out. Our cat, his name is Francis. I have no idea why. Our son left us with it. Francis is a cool name for a cat. I like that. Fluff that out a little bit. I like the term I just invented, but accidentally. I'm going to fluff that out a little bit. So I am using like a combination of watercolors and gouache here, and I really like that. So like I should probably mention the reason I like it is because like I've worked with acrylics a bit, and one of the frustrating things, like people always talk about this too, whenever they talk about painting, is that they dry really quick, and you have the frustration of like constantly having to like try to keep it wet. Now there's some techniques that you can do to like make watercolor or sorry acrylics stay wet longer and stuff, but that's the primary reason people use oils is because like acrylics dry too quick. Well, there's probably other reasons and stuff, but anyway, I like using gouache because you can like always reactivate it with water. Like I could just leave this sitting here, come back to it tomorrow, and just jump right back in by adding a little bit of water to my paint. So I don't have to worry about them like drying out. Like because I have the fan on in here because it's super hot for some reason. Um, they are drying out a little bit quicker than I think, but would have thought. But I'm adding water to it, so it's good. I admire your artwork, brother. Thanks, I appreciate that. Oh, don't watch all my videos. There's some terrible videos. Like I appreciate it. Thank you. But yeah, there was definitely some because like I am a self-taught artist. I've only been doing this for well, almost a year. Like here in January, it's going to be the anniversary, which I should probably celebrate somehow. But anywho, um, so I am kind of a self-taught artist, and I'm kind of like learning as I go. So if you go back to my early stuff, it's pretty bad. Not so much the drawings. I feel like I can draw well, but certainly my first attempts at painting, oh geez, those are terrible. But I do appreciate that compliment. Thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Um, the only thing I really bring to the table, I love the way I'm going to put this, but I'm going to own that, and I'm going to bring it up, a lot in the future. But what I bring to the table is enthusiastic failure. That's how I'm gonna. That's how I'm gonna brand myself. So I don't mind failing. In fact, I'm gonna be really into failing because like every time I fail, I learn something new. So, uh, like this time around, I learned that I probably should be using watercolor paper instead of my mixed media paper. Lesson learned. Won't make that mistake again. But now that I'm into like the thicker paint and I'm not using as much water, it doesn't seem like it matters so much. Get this a little bit there. Oh, freaking flies in here too. The other thing when you have pets and stuff, I don't know if any of you guys have this problem, but freaking they want to go out like 5 million times, and if it's warm out, and it's been kind of unseasonably warm here in Kentucky, there's still flies in this freaking neighborhood and stuff, and they come in because the dogs take forever to come in through the door. Oh, it's just irritating me. I'm gonna go through with the fly swatter and just kill them all. There's like a lot of murder in this picture. The the uh the cat wants to murder the tree. I want to murder the fly. It's not really Christmassy spirit, but anywho. I think it's starting to look like a cat, guys. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm gonna go with a smaller brush here. I'm gonna try to get some blues in here. Get some of my white in here. Whiten that up a little bit. A little bit of water. All right, so yeah, this is my brand. The hat. Like I love the hat. I got it as a gift, I think, and probably a Christmas gift a few years back and stuff. And I just wear it all the time. I'm a hat person. I love hats. Uh, I don't have any cowboy hats like our friend Tyler in here, but I have a bit of a hat collection. I'm using blues in here, probably too much blue, but I want to kind of break up the white and the fur, kind of have it reflecting some of the environment. I'll come back over it with like some white after I get kind of these shadow areas a little bit better defined. Honestly, I feel like this is all painting is. It's just going back and forth over the same thing that you've already painted a million times until you get the kind of definition that you want. I kind of want a bit of. I'm gonna have to add his nose in here before too long because he looks weird without his nose. But yeah. It's so. Um, I go to the pub a lot. Like I don't know where all of you guys are from and stuff like that. I'm not from Ireland, but like that's kind of where my family genealogy is and stuff. So there's an Irish pub in town, even though I don't live in Ireland, and that's kind of where why I got this style of hat because it makes me feel like an Irishman, even though like I don't know. I do drink a little bit too, so I'm not insinuating anything that Irish people drink a lot, but I know I do. But no, I should make it clear for those of you who don't live around here. I do live in the United States. I live in Kentucky. Uh, I was born here. I was born in Fort Knox, but I didn't really spend most of my life here. Well, actually, now that the years go by, I kind of have spent most of my life here, but not really. My dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot. Most of my extended family is from the southern United States. How I ended up in Kentucky, it's kind of a bit of a, it wasn't intentional. It's that I ended up falling in with people who work with horses a lot. And the particular area that I live in is like horse country. There's horse farms all over the place and stuff like that. So I ended up moving here for a job. Even though I was born here, I moved here for a job and I just stayed. You know, one of these days I'll probably move, but I kind of like it in Kentucky. We get a bad rap, like people think we're just a bunch of hillbilly rednecks, and that's probably true. There is a lot of hillbilly rednecks around here, but that's not all we do. Like there's a lot to Kentucky. It's actually really beautiful land. Like I said, there's a lot of horse farms around here. You've got not the majestic mountains you might see out west or anything like that, but we've got our fair share of the Appalachian Mountains, at least the foothills of the Mountains, and it's really quite beautiful. Yeah, so this is bourbon. I usually drink bourbon on this show. Sometimes I drink a beer or something like that. Every now and then I'll drink wine. I'm not a big wine person, just because I don't really know what I'm doing. Like there's people out there who are experts at wine. I don't really know what I'm doing with any of my drinks, but I do like the taste of bourbon. It's kind of my go-to drink. I don't drink when I'm not uh, painting. It's kind of like one of the perks of painting for me is hey, you know what? I'm gonna paint a picture tonight and I'm gonna have a nice glass of whiskey with it. So that's my thing. I mean, that's not really true. Whenever I go out, I do drink. All right, so I'm going to try to clean this brush here. I think I could use a bigger brush for this part, but I kind of want it, not that one. Where's my round brush? There you go. I kind of want to get this eye going a little bit more. So he's got kind of a, at least for the base of the eye, it's kind of this yellow ochre. I do hope I have enough time to get the Christmassy elements in there tonight. How are we doing on time? Yeah. Or at least get kind of a rough outline of that tree going. But if not, I promise to finish it up and you'll at least get a kitty cat. A bit of a black pupil going. I really need to work on painting like this. I need to I need to figure out how to use a easel along with the camera. So like I have a camera up here, like kind of looking down on the page, and that works for me. And I've been doing that for like the past year and stuff. But I kind of want to get into the habit of, even with like watercolor, you kind of want the gravity to do some of the work on it. So I want to get in the habit of kind of painting like, like you see painters and stuff when they paint, they they don't do what I'm doing here, which kind of feels like almost like drawing the way I'm holding my brush and all that. I want to be more like, just come in here and dab it and stuff. But I don't have the steadiest of hand anyway, so I don't know if I'm ever going to really pick that up the way I'd like to. But that's something I want to work on. Yeah. So like it's a bit of a stereotype. Irish people do more than just booze it up, but yeah, you know, we also booze it up. But I'm not really, really Irish. That's just my ancestry. So like, my that's where my family comes from and stuff. I'm an American. I do American things for better or worse. It's actually one of the things I really enjoy about doing these live streams is you get to meet people from all over the country. Ada, like she's from New Zealand. That just, I don't know, that's just amazing to me that it never occurred to me until like I met somebody from New Zealand that it's summertime over there. Like they're celebrating Christmas during the summer. That's so weird to me. They have barbecues. They go to the beach, and it's kind of weird to me because it's not like they have their own movie industry over there where they're like like they're watching the same movies as us, right? So like they're watching Santa Claus come down a chimney at Christmas. Um, they're watching like Let It Snow and all of that stuff, and they probably haven't even seen snow. It's so weird. Um, and it's only weird because I'm dumb, like I'm not that worldly, I guess, where I ever really thought about that kind of stuff. Hey, thanks, kid. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's pretty rough, but it's starting to at least feel like a kitty cat. We'll get there, guys. Um, I need more white. So I'm gonna The other thing I need to get better at is figuring out how much paint I need to put on my palette when I go to do these things. Like I'm kind of just eyeballing it, really. this ear going over here. Yeah, Christmas and summer just sounds weird. But I love that. I love like hearing about how other people live because like I don't know. So one of the things that I like to do is I like to mentally trick myself into being in a good mood sometimes. So I always try to stay positive, and I feel like I'm pretty good at that. I feel like I keep myself in a good positive outlook on life and stuff like that. And one of the tricks that I do for that, I have all these different tricks in my mind to stay in a good mood. And one of the tricks is like if I'm ever down in the dumps and I'm thinking about like like oh man, life just sucks and all these things. Uh, I start thinking about like my own limited experience in life, right? So like if I start thinking life sucks, I start thinking like, well, maybe I only think that because I haven't gone out and seen how other people live, right? So like, I have lived in a couple of other countries because my dad was in the military, but I've never been to Europe, for example. So if I get bummed out and I'm like, oh man, life sucks and stuff, but like I have no idea. Maybe it's better in Europe, or maybe it's maybe if I went out and did more vacations or something like that, I might have a different outlook. So one of my tricks basically is I remind myself that I have a limited life experience and I don't really know if life sucks because I haven't been out there to see how other people live. So when I encounter somebody who celebrates Christmas in summertime, that's so different than my own experience. I'm like, man, that'd be kind of interesting to try that out, just to see, what that's like. Anyway, I'm probably not making sense, but that's the way I look at things. Add a little bit of blue to that, but I want it to be mostly white. So I want to kind of get some highlights going here. I feel like I'm not putting enough paint on my brush each time. All right, I really need to pink up that nose, but I will worry about that here in a minute. I'm not talking smack about people who live in. I'm jealous. I'm envious. I want to know what that's like. It's just amazing to me. Um, people who are celebrating Christmas in summer, that never occurred to me that's the reality in other parts of the world, and I want to know more about that. I'm just so fascinated by that. When I was a kid and my again my dad was in the military, so we moved around a lot and stuff like that. But um, my birthday is in December, so I don't get a lot of like beach parties for my birthday. But one time we were living in Cuba, and my birthday fell like you know well it always falls in December, but we were living in Cuba at the time when my birthday came around, and I got to spend my birthday at the beach because it was like 80 degrees out, which is weird to me, thinking like, oh, in December you can have a birthday where you can go to the beach because it's 80 degrees out. But that's the way it was, and that I still remember that. It's so fascinating. So, so where are you from? I mean, woo. Are you on the other side of the world where you're celebrating Christmas in summertime? Because like I want to talk to you. I want to know what that's like. Because like that just sounds so cool. This is not sticking to my brush very well. I think I'm gonna need a bigger brush for that. But all right, so just to speed things along, I do kind of want to put a little highlight up here just so that you guys know what's going on. That is an eyeball. Looks so cute. Add a little bit of water to that just to activate it. All right. Get some fur up in here. fluffed up. Sorry, I was missing the chat there. Spend a season at 9,000 feet. What, like up in the mountains and stuff? That sounds cool. A little bit of white over here. It does. It is starting to look a little bit more like a kitty cat, so that's good. Less like a Furby, more like a kitty cat. I feel like I'm spending too much time on it though. Like I wanted to make progress on some of these other areas, but you got to do what you got to do. It's got to look like a kitty cat. All right. Let me put in a little bit more over here. I feel like it's roughed up enough to where I can probably move on to some of these other things. So I'm gonna focus on this tree just to get the tree going. And I'm throwing some green on my palette here. Oh, bag of sea glass. Oh, that's cool. Were you in the military, Larry? I don't remember if you mentioned that. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that I lived in Cuba for a little while on this stream before. Just because, like, I don't know, it's one of the more interesting things that I've done, Like, I feel blessed that I was able to, like, go to, some of the different places that I did just because I was an army brat. Um, and we lived there for like 2 years, and I was a young kid, so the climate is a lot like Arizona. So for like a little kid to be outdoors all the time because it's not really raining ever, and you got some interesting creatures down there like iguanas running around doing things and stuff. Um, that's something I remember fondly. Like I like looking back. I almost joined the military myself just to get those kind of experiences, but I don't know. I ended up not. But yeah, I mean, my dad was in the army, so I was a military brat. Got to got to have some fun doing that. My dad was actually really into the military. He spent 20 years, and I want to say he was like a master sergeant when he retired, but he's a veteran. So I'm just kind of roughing in some tree branches here and stuff. I know it doesn't look like much yet, but hopefully we'll make it look more like a tree like we did with the kitty cat. The kitty cat looked like a Furby at first. So hopefully you guys trust me that this will end up looking like a tree. This is the kind of stuff I do like doing when it comes to painting. Just having fun, just scribbling with the brush. You know, it's this is this is what I think artists, like real artists, do. They just kind of like scribble messes and stuff, especially with these these conifer type trees and stuff like that. It's really hard to like make one not look like a conifer if you do it like this. So okay, so this is an art show. I'm supposed to be like giving people pointers and stuff like that. If you want to make a pine tree, and this isn't like something I invented. This is just watching a lot of Bob Ross. Just kind of scribble on the page in a bunch of different directions. Get like a flat brush, right? So like not one of your round brushes. And you probably use like a fan brush or something like that too. I don't know. But get like a get some dry paint on there, so like not too much water or whatever, and just kind of like just have fun, just kind of scribbling. And it's kind of the same when you're drawing as well. Like if you wanted to draw a tree, you're basically like one of these type of trees at least. You're basically just kind of scribbling with your pencil as well, but the brush is a little bit fatter. You're gonna cover more area. You're a real artist. Come on. Yeah. Well, a real artist that needs practice, maybe. Oh, a contractor working there. You might have mentioned that before. That sounds familiar. I'm sorry. It like I forget some things and stuff. You might have actually mentioned that because I do think I brought it up before, because it was a lot. I had so much fun. I was like, I don't know, like 8 years old or something, living in Cuba, and to me it was really cool because like um, we got the like my dad was one of only a handful of like army people on the base. It is a naval base, so most of the people down there are from the Navy and stuff. But because of my dad's MOS, he was a food inspector, and they don't really have that in the Navy, so they kind of borrow them from the Army, like food inspectors essentially. And so I think there were only like four other Army dudes on the base, in addition to like, Navy and Marine Corps and stuff like that. But it was kind of fun because like when the Navy guys would come in on their ships and stuff like that, they would want to go into the base and have some fun and like get loose and things like that. So apparently, whoever ran the base, I guess the commanding officer or something like that, was a little mad at the last group that came through. Um, and he kind of like told him like, look, you're not going to run through my base and create havoc, drink a bunch, and like just you know go crazy and stuff like that. But I'll make a deal with you. Like, if you let some of the civilians come on your ship and take tours and stuff like that, then I'll let you come onto my base. So that's what they did, and I got to tour some of the Navy ships and stuff, which is awesome, to me because like I love that kind of stuff. Um, but oh, okay, worked with the Army back in Kuwait. Oh, cool. Um, Yeah, so like I got to go on the Nimitz, which is like an awesome aircraft carrier. Like it's the one that's featured in some movies, notably Final Countdown, which is like I like sci-fi, so like that's a movie that I love. I will watch that movie a bunch of different times over. Um, but Final Countdown is a great movie, by the way. But anyway, the Nimitz is kind of like the star of that film, and I got to go on a tour of the Nimitz, which was cool. And I got to go on a tour of the USS Iowa, which is a battleship, which, to an 8-year-old kid, like it would suck if you actually was in the military and you had to like, because like, you're putting your life on the line being on these battleships and stuff like that. So like, that's not lost on me. But to a kid, um, it's nothing but a great time. You get to watch these planes take off on the aircraft carrier, and you get to watch. They didn't fire the big cannons, but they explained them, and they showed video of like the cannons firing. And to an 8-year-old kid, that's like just big old explosions. That's like fireworks and stuff like that. So um, all that stuff fascinated me as a kid. Like I said, I almost joined the military myself, but I was young and dumb, and thought I'd do other things with my life and stuff. uh, you know, had a girlfriend. I thought like I don't really want to leave the girl for like years and stuff like that. It's all stupid idiot type stuff, but I was a kid. That's what kids do. But yeah, I kind of wish I had though. Like I feel like that would have been a fun, not a fun time. I mean, especially these days, like the entire world's at war. It feels like it. So like I don't think it'd be as fun now. But I grew up in a time when I don't know. It probably is the best time to join the military. It was like everybody was, the world was mostly at peace. Like there was like little skirmishes here and there, but nothing like what we see nowadays. Speaking of which, if any of you guys are out there in the world in conflict zones and stuff like that, you have my thoughts, man. I I know that's rough. If any of you guys are alone at Christmas, you have my thoughts. I hope that, you know, I wish you guys the best. I know that like not everybody has the best situations out there. So um, I'll be thinking of you, I guess. Because I do, like around the holidays and stuff, I think about things like that. People who are, I mean, it's not like I have a lot of great fortune myself. Like I struggle a bit sometimes too, but I know that there's people out there who have way worse times than I do, and I should really count my blessings, as we all should. Because it really doesn't matter how bad your situation is. There's somebody out there in the world who has a worse situation. So I think about those type of things at Christmas time. You know. Plus, like I said, my birthday is December 4th, so like I whenever my birthday comes around, I kind of take stock of life anyway. So Oh, yeah. So at least Desert Storm didn't last that long, so there's some blessings there. But I was a kid when Desert Storm was around. But my dad had just recently retired, so the concern there was more him getting called up, whether regard like not so much me going. My brother, who is a little bit older, I don't think he had joined the Navy yet. He was in the Navy. I don't think he ran the risk of ending up in Desert Storm. But yeah, that's probably the conflict that I would have participated in, probably if it had lasted longer and I had joined the military or something like that. But anyway, looks like a kitty staring at a tree so far. I swear it's going to look better. I got I got some more to add to it. How we doing on time? Yeah, we're only like an hour into it and stuff like that. So probably I should focus on maybe adding some ornaments to this tree. The cat still looks pretty rough. In fact, there's like stray brush hair in there. Anyway, I'll worry about that later. Um, but I kind of want you guys to at least have the rough look at it, and then maybe off camera or something, I'll clean it up or something like that. But I want to get some ornaments in there, and most of these ornaments I think are going to be red just out of convenience, but I'll try to vary it up. Maybe put in some orange ones or something like that. But let's see how it goes. So I'm going to start with this like really dark, almost purple, like I may even add some black to it to be honest, just to give myself a dark area. So what I do with paintings and gouache, right? So it's like kind of the opposite in watercolor itself. Because watercolor, you kind of want to go from the lights to the dark. Whenever I'm painting in gouache or acrylics or something, and I can't make a perfect circle, but so forgive me for that. I'm going to try here. This is going to, because my perspective is so like this is flat, right? So I'm looking at it from an angle anyway. I'm actually going to use my computer screen to kind of figure out how to make this a circle. Because like looking at it from this perspective, it runs the risk of ending up looking like an egg, just because I don't have the steadiest hand anyway, and I'm looking at it from the wrong perspective. But I'll try to get a circle out of this. Anyway, um, so in watercolor, you kind of work from like lights to darks, just because they're transparent. Um, with gouache, because they're opaque, or like acrylics or oil or something like that, you can start with like really dark colors and just kind of work layers over it to get it lighter, which is the way I like to paint. I'd rather do that. Um, so I'm I like to tinker with watercolors now and then and stuff, but I don't think that that's like my favorite. I don't think I enjoy it as much. I'd like to. I'd like to get to the point where I'm using watercolors properly, but I'm not there yet. And I think what you're supposed to do with watercolor is you're supposed to like really use the medium the way it's almost as if it's water, right? So like even here, I just added a bunch of water and stuff. So like I'm letting that kind of like blot out and stuff like that to kind of get this really dark area on this ornament. Hopefully that dries a little bit lighter. It's a little bit darker than I thought, but that's okay. It's just like a base layer anyway. Let me see. Do I like the size of that ornament? Let me try to mop some of this up. That is a bit darker than I thought it would be. It's okay. I'll come back over it with some lighter colors. I think that's fine. Let me get some more ornaments going. At least the red ones, and then I'll come back with a different color. So I kind of want, and I kind of want them to be similar sizes, right? So like when you go to buy like a set of ornaments or something like that, try starting. Have I ever visited England? No, I have not. I would love to. That would be awesome. It's on my bucket list. Let's see. Try starting out in the middle of the night and build out just a thought. Yeah, I could probably do that. You mean like give me some context there. I missed what I was talking about like when you made that comment, so I'm not really sure. I really need to pay attention to chat more. So let me get, I think that's a similar size. make it a little bit bigger, I think. And then I want to make sure I throw in some other colors because like maybe a green one too. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the ornaments I have on my tree. I have these bulb type ornaments on my tree. These are the ones that the cats really like to tear down, which is what this cat wants to do. He's staring at this ornament. He's like, I want that. Give me that ball. Canada has Nazi border agents. Thanks, Bill Gorman, for that comment. I was wondering how long I would have a chat going before somebody mentions Nazis. I appreciate you being the first one. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure you meant it in the nicest way. We love our Canadian neighbors here. Yeah, kind of looks like a plum right now. Oh, kind of a little crazy there. That's all right, we'll make that work. Oh, when doing the ornaments. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. All right, so let me get some other colors in here along with this red just to work with that and make it not all one color. I feel like I need to mix these up a little bit before I dump them on the paint. Sorry, talking with the brush in your mouth is not very good as a host. I apologize for that. You know, I have a smaller kind of. Let me go with this. I've got a whole bunch of brushes. One of the things I need to work on is like what brush do you use and when and so on. That's something I need to practice with and get better at. So this is really kind of dry. Hopefully that'll go over that black and not just blend with it, but kind of like lighten it up a little bit. I know it looks rough at the moment, but keep working with it. Shouldn't need so much black. Splotches of color. And then same deal up here. It's almost like you're painting an apple, which is fun. I should do some still life. Well, this is kind of still life, except that the cat's about to like really make this tree not that still. But I need to practice painting circles. That's what I need to do. All right, so I do want another ornament kind of like over here, and then I kind of want like an orange one over here. So let me throw some paint on the get some paint going here. Okay, I haven't looked at that one. Second while I open that. Canada charged you with parrot trafficking and took your parrot for 6 weeks. Okay, all right. So now you've got some context to your story there, Bill, and I feel like that makes it less of a like a weird comment and more of an interesting comment. So like now that you've added the context of Canada agents, Nazi agents, whatever you want to call them, took your parrot. Now I'm really super curious how you ended up with a parrot in Canada. Like, what were you doing up at the Canadian border with a parrot? There's got to be an interesting story there that I hope you will share with me. Hey, Rome. We're painting a cat, which is in various states here, looking at a tree that it just wants to dismantle. It's a Christmas tree, if that's not obvious. Hopefully it will be as I work with it some more. So, yeah, Bill, I want to know how you were at the Canadian border with the smuggling parrots, apparently. Um, and they stole your parrot. Oh, I should also say, like, I'm sorry to hear that. Like, if that's your pet and you're not just like trafficking parrots for some reason, that sounds rough, actually. So I do apologize if I sounded insensitive there, but it does sound like a really interesting story, and I want to know more about it. I'm gonna get a little ornament over there, and then I kind of wanted like a reddish orange ornament. I need to add some water to that over here. Now, hopefully this does come off opaque, because I kind of want it over that tree that's already there. Panda boys. Come on. There's kids who watch this show, Bill. You don't want me to kick you out for mentioning that. Uh, those Canadians sound like they're just treating you bad, Bill. I'm sorry to hear that. Let's see, get kind of that one looks a little pear-shaped. Maybe if I just kind of yeah, okay, so I'm learning a little bit. Maybe if I just take my time and just kind of go round, you get kind of a circle, and it still looks a little rough on top. Yeah, take my time. That'll work. I can work with that. Get some lighter bits in there. So it's fine that the green is showing through. I know like it's hard to see because of the lights and stuff like that in here and it being wet and it's reflecting and stuff like that. But um, it's okay that some of the green is showing through because it's not really showing through. It's not like a transparent ornament. In this case, it's reflecting the things around it. So it's supposed to be a little bit green, even though it's being transparent and that's what you're really looking at. It's fine because like the whole thing is it's supposed to be reflecting things around it anyway. So I'm okay with that actually. All right. So I feel like there's a lot more work to do on this, but we'll get there. Like I said, even if I don't finish it tonight, it's still I'm just having fun. Christmas spirit and all that stuff. That I'll continue working on it. I usually let these live streams go on for like maybe 2 hours or something like that anyway, and that's not really a long time to paint, a full-blown picture to the degree that it could be done. Just working with this white, getting some highlights on these things. So this one here, get the top going. Apparently, Bill has a dirty bird. That's great. I love that comment. Yeah. Uh, guys, I have a sense of humor. You guys can get away with quite a bit on this show. Just remember there's a line that like there are some kids who watch this show, so like you guys haven't crossed it yet, by the way. I think what you guys are saying is hilarious. Get some lights going up here. So is it just one parrot, Bill? Like they just took like you took one parrot up there and they were like, nope, you can't have this because it's an exotic bird or something like that. Do you get it back? Like I really do want to hear more about this story. So like do you get the parrot back at some point or they just took it? Because I was watching something about like customs. It was some reality show, and they were talking about all the different things they confiscate, like weapons and stuff like that. Apparently, like Americans travel up to Canada and they forget to they have like a gun in the car, and they take that from you. I don't know, like, do you ever get that kind of stuff back? Do you have to like file something for it or what? Oh, cool. All right. Oh, okay. So you're from the UK. That's cool. I have another subscriber who comes in here quite often. His name is Dave. He lives in England too. And yeah, like if I ever get a chance to go to England, man, there's so many of you guys that like I would love to meet and go and visit some of the pubs you guys got over there. I'm sorry to hear that, Bill. Like pets of any sort when they pass away and stuff. That's just terrible. Um, that's rough. Is that your parrot that passed away, or? Oh yeah, no, you're fine, Larry. I'm just throwing it out as a reminder to it, folks, because like I don't know, I've got. It's so hard for me because like I was not expecting kids to watch my show. I just wanted to come on and paint pictures and stuff like that. It never occurred to me that there would be younger people who watch this because it never occurred to me that I have anything to teach people, right? So like it never occurred to me that younger people would come on here kind of like to learn um, to draw or paint or something like that. But apparently there are like I don't know, like all kinds of kids and stuff like that. And it's kind of weird because then you have to start thinking like, okay, all right, what's my responsibility here? Like, should I still because I've got a bit of a like a potty mouth myself. I curse a lot in real life. Um, so you start wondering like, well, what's my responsibility here? Like, I don't mind if kids curse, but I can imagine a parent might be upset if I'm the one who taught them a particular curse word. So the more I think about it, I'm like, oh man, I gotta watch what I say. I'm having fun with these ornaments, by the way. So like, I might be taking more time on it than I should, but this is what I do. I get lost on particular details. Like in this case, I kind of want these like these highlights on these ornaments. So spending a little bit more time on them than maybe I should. Kind of want some yellow in there too. Oh, nice. Yeah. So, Hater, do you drink bourbon? Like, because that's kind of like I drink a lot of bourbon because I live in Kentucky and that's where the bourbon comes from. And we have a lot of distilleries out here and stuff like that. So I just kind of got hooked on it. Um, but I am kind of curious when people are like in other parts of the world that do drink. Like, what's your experience with bourbon? Is that like a thing that you guys drink over there? Is it something that like you guys have trouble getting in or anything like that? That's a cool name for a parrot, Bill. To go, Togo, Togo. I would think. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Togo the parrot. I would love to have a parrot. Did it did it say things and stuff like that? Now I'm super interested in your parrot. Like I want to know everything about Bill's parrot. All right, I kind of want some dark areas here. I don't want it to be that dark though. I kind of want to really thin that out. But I don't want to run into the same situation I had down at the bottom. Even though that's dried a lot lighter. I like that. That kind of looks like a almost like a grape or something. So if this up here ends up drawing that light, that's awesome. Which I think it will. Just kind of rough in some areas here. I'll come back over this with like I want it to be more orange than yellow. So I'm gonna add some orange to that. Sorry, I kind of got lost here in this thing. Get some highlights going up in here. It's kind of weird. So like when these ornaments, because they're usually made of glass, so these are just tough. I'll throw that out there. It's tough to draw or paint ornaments, and the reason I'm discovering here, looking at the reference picture, it's the lighting is all over the place, right? So like you have whatever a light source is, but then you also have like little lights that I still have to put in the tree that are like all reflecting off of this. It's a reflective surface, so it's like it's um it's reflecting everything around it. So looking at this, I realize I'm going to have to practice more painting reflective surfaces because even though I'm going to make this look decent to the best of my ability, I realize my ability is not all that great. I have almost zero experience doing reflective surfaces like this. feel like I'll make it work, but it probably won't be like as nice as people who have experience like painting bottles and stuff like that. That would be kind of cool, painting like bourbon bottles. I've seen some other people do that, and I think that that might be something I'd enjoy doing. So expect that in the future. I'll probably paint a some whiskey bottles or something. Like that almost looks like a green apple that's becoming red. I don't know. I don't know if that looks exactly the way I wanted it to, but we'll make it work. Let's see what I miss in here. Yeah, Jack Daniels is great. Bourbon any time of the day. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. Yeah, like I said, we've got a lot of distilleries around here. I don't just live in Kentucky. I live in central Kentucky, which is where most of those distilleries are. So like it's bourbon country here. Bourbon and horses. And I try to incorporate horses a lot in my art just because I know people around here appreciate that. Like most of my friends are into horses. It's kind of funny though because like the internet does not seem to be into horses at all. Like whenever I draw or paint a picture of a horse, people seem to not care much at all, which is so weird to me because like I don't know, just in like all the galleries I go to around here, they're like so full of like horse paintings and horse art and stuff like that. And then, you know, fine art in general seems to have a lot of horses in it. Maybe just people are bored of it. I don't know. All right, so this is a good start. I feel like there's a lot more that needs to be here. I wanted one more ornament actually. I wanted one down here kind of hanging off. So let me get that in here real quick while I think about what else I want to do with this picture. I feel like I have a long way to go, but this is a good start. All right, so let me try to make a circle again. I think this will be my maybe one or two other ornaments peeking through the branches, but for the most part, I think this is my last ornament I'm going to put on the tree. You don't want your tree to be overdone. Hey, Robbery. Let's see. Togo's a crazy bird. Togo's a wackadoo. Oh, I love it. Oh, see, I want a parrot. When I was a teenager, I used to skip school and take a like I'm telling. This is basically my confession channel. When I was a teenager, I would skip school and catch a bus down to the college campus where I lived, and they had a pet store down there where they sold parrots. And because it was on a college campus, that was the most foul-mouthed parrot you will ever meet in your life. And it was just so hilarious to me as a young man talking to that parrot who was basically insulting me at every level. Um, but yeah, like I love parrots. I would love to have a parrot. I would love to have any kind of bird, really, but like I don't think that a bird would mesh well with my cat because my cat would be staring at the bird kind of like this. All right, I need some brown. I'm gonna throw in. So again, I'm not very used to using watercolor or gouache, um, so I'm still kind of feeling my way around. I think I'm gonna use some brown watercolor here, and the strategy is maybe that will be more transparent and not look so bad on these ornaments. Just kind of blotting it in just to get some reflected shadows going. Kid's so funny. You're glad that I didn't draw a horse looking at a tree. What do people have against horses? I love horses. Horses are awesome. Maybe it's just my horses. Maybe people don't like my horses. Like people like horses. I think I'm getting pretty good at it. I have a couple of horses that I've drawn. Mostly drawn. I don't think I've painted a horse yet. I'm just not there on painting yet. I want to get better at it. But yeah, I've got a couple of horses I did, and I think that, as far as some of the horses I've seen in the galleries around here, they're not that bad. One might say they're actually good. I wouldn't say that because I feel like that would be a little. I feel like other people should judge your art. I don't feel like you should judge your own. But yeah, like I feel like if somebody were to judge my art, they would agree with me that my horses aren't that bad. They actually look decent. Horses are hard. Like they've got a lot of complex anatomy to them and a lot of weird shapes and stuff like that. So like people end up drawing them or painting them in really weird ways and stuff, and it's a fine line that I think. I mean, I wouldn't say I've mastered painting a horse. There's certainly people who are way better at it than me, but I think my horses. Thank you, kid. Like kid says, it's not my opinion that my horses are beautiful. Kid says my horses are beautiful, and kid, the only horse joke I've got is why the long face. That's a great joke. That's a classic. Uh, um, Clash of Bleed. At the age of 32, I decided to lead my life according to my own principles. That's good advice. I think everybody should. And eventually you have to. You kind of have to. I mean, you're going to get a lot of advice in life and stuff like that, but at some point you have to find something that works for you, just for practical reasons, just so that you can cope in life. In addition to painting and stuff like that, that is something that I would hope to do through this channel. I hope to inspire people to live their best lives. Um, not because I'm living my best life or anything like that, but I do think that you should strive to get there. Like if you can. Um, we all have we all have challenges in our lives and stuff like that. But if you guys remember, I started this channel because I wanted to improve my art. I wanted to practice and learn a new skill, and I feel like I accomplished that. It's not perfect or anything like that, but I am practicing, and I did stick. It all started as a New Year's resolution last year. I'm glad we're talking about this actually, because like it is the time of year for me to bring this up. It started as a New Year's resolution. I'm like, I am not the best painter out there. I'm not the best drawer out there, but I want to be the type of person who cares about that kind of stuff and tries to get better at it. And I stuck with it over a year, and for better or worse, here I am a year later, sticking with it. You know, and I feel like not to toot my own horn or anything like that, but I feel like that should be like an inspiration to people. Like I'm super inspiring, guys. Come on. Um, that should be an inspiration to people that you can too. Like if you set a goal, might as well set one for the new year and stuff. Like people always joke about New Year's resolutions, nobody following through with them and stuff, but it is possible. That's kind of my point here. It is possible to make a New Year's resolution, stick with it, and just see where it goes. Try to. I believe in incremental improvement too. Like nobody's going to like just suddenly be a master at whatever it is that they're interested in doing overnight. It does take a year or more, or like there's that cliche out there about like how many like 10,000 man hours or something to become an expert in your field or whatever. I don't know if that's true, but I do know that like it's not an overnight process. You have to stick with it, which means you have to like set goals and just follow through. I mean, it's hard, you know. Oh, hey, have a good one, Larry. I appreciate you stopping in. Like, I really enjoy listening to your guys' stories. To be honest, I wish I could just have an open mic where you guys come in and talk to me. Maybe I'll look into that because I think that might be possible. Like where I open up like another little window. So like you'll have me up here, and you'll have like a little window below, and then you'll have the cat picture that I'm drawing, just so that you guys can talk to me directly. That would be awesome. I'll have to think about that because I have more questions about Bill's parrot story. To be honest, that I didn't know that you had a parrot, and I love parrots. So to me, that's something I want to follow up on. Like, are they good pets? Do you enjoy them? Well, obviously you enjoy them, but like, do you recommend a parrot? to others. Oh, yeah, back to my inspirational thing. Sorry, I get sidetracked sometimes. Um, Guys, like you can, you can do it. There you go. That's what I was trying to say. If there's something that you want to chase in life, just make it happen, you know? Just stick with it and see where it goes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, you know? Don't be afraid to paint a bad picture. We all do it. It's not a big deal. The goal is to get better. The goal isn't to become perfect. All right. So before I move back to my cat, I want to tinker with kind of trying to make this tree look a little more interesting. Because like kind of looks a little boring to me at the moment. Maybe some green in here. I want like a bluish green almost. All right, and then kind of get some variation up in here. So I want some like dark areas, I think. Maybe overlapping some of these ornaments. And really, I think that this is like the key to painting is like you just keep coming back in and over things and stuff multiple times. You weren't even allowed to go to a liquor store a couple of years ago? Oh, well. I should probably throw out the disclaimer I always do whenever we get on the drinking topic and stuff. Drinking is not for everybody. I'm not here to like, make anybody miss the drink if they're like off the sauce or anything like that. It's just I enjoy a drink while I paint. But um, yeah, like I actually live in a so America is like really weird. Sometimes we have like things called dry counties and stuff like that. It only became like a wet county, um, like in the last uh, I want to say last decade or something like that. It's a pretty strange situation, but I don't know where I was going with that. I was just mentioning it. I also want to add in some orange here. Kind of weird palette going on over here, like just colors all over the word. So I want to kind of get some of this to be a little bit orange. Kind of work some of that orange in there so that it's kind of all tied together a little bit, but you do have like some dark areas. Branch out a little bit. Kind of want some orange in here, mostly because I want to put in some highlights of some bulbs. Like I want like some um lights. There you go. Got a couple of cousins in Kentucky. Towns named after some of my ancestors. Oh, that's cool. Oh, your father is a devout Muslim. That makes sense. Muslims don't drink. Or yeah, I shouldn't say they don't all drink, but yeah, that's kind of like one of their things. I've heard that makes sense. Yeah, welcome to the club. I'm glad that you have. Well, you mentioned that you said that at some point you decided to think for yourself and kind of like live your own life and stuff like that. That's cool. You know, um, welcome to the club. Yeah. Like I mentioned, when I was talking about different Christmas things, Christmas traditions, I'm not really a particularly religious person myself. I grew up, my dad is Baptist, like, like that's one of the versions of Christianity out there. My mom was a Methodist, and I call myself undeclared. Like, I don't know, like it was just never anything that really stuck. Now, I don't really have anything anything against it. Most of the people I know are religious people. As far as like extended family, my own parents, even some of my siblings, which grew up in the same household as me, they're a lot more religious than me. My aunts and uncles are all religious people. It's just never anything that like I've really gotten into. But I don't have anything against it either. So like, um, if I if it's appropriate, I'll go to church. I went to one just recently for like a Christmas thing they had there and stuff like that. So I believe that, to each their own. Oh, hey, Ada. How's it going? Yeah, so it's getting there. I've got like a long way to go. This is like basically a rough base coat and stuff like that. I have a lot more details to add. I still have to get a box in here. Like this is gonna be like boxes underneath the tree and everything, but I don't know. I'm enjoying this, so I'm going to stick with it and just see where the picture leads me. I think over here in the corner, I kind of wanted this to be like a little bit darker. So let me try to get that a little bit darker. I didn't want this area to be so white. I wanted kind of a bit of a transition here between this like light, this kind of orangish area, and this area over here, which would be kind of lost in shadows. Be a little bit careful around that ear so that I don't lose the form of my almost formless kitty cat. Anyway, I kind of got a bit of a mess going on here. All right, so here's some white. Hey, Hooker, Hoosker, not Hooker. Sorry, Hoosker do, not like TJ Hooker or something like that. Yeah, so I mean, it's got a way to go. I basically wanted to move beyond the cat and make sure that I get some of my tree in here, just so that I'm making progress. I feel like I feel like I am going to have to finish this up. You know, like that's a bit much. Get some of that paint off. I do feel like I'm going to have to finish this up offline at some point. But I did want to like make sure that I get enough detail in here to let you guys know where I'm going with this. Get some highlights in these branches. Again, really, really dry brush on these parts. I want it to look painterly and rough. Yeah, we were talking about Christmas in New Zealand earlier. Like it's so amazing to me because it just never occurred to me that there are parts of the world that are celebrating Christmas in summertime. It's just so amazing to me, which is dumb because on your side of the world, you're probably like, wow, there's places that celebrate Christmas in winter, and I don't know, maybe that's not that weird to you, but it was just weird. Oh, you got the role of school leader. Hey, congratulations. That's awesome. That's cool. Congratulations. We like to hear good stories around here. Get some shadow up in there. Yeah, that's awesome. darker areas through here. I really want, I'm gonna really double down on this because I want this area over here, and I need to use less water, I think, but I want this area to be darker over here. Almost not quite a vignette, but I want it to be much darker so that the cat kind of really stands out. You know what I mean? And I will come back over these areas, get some like nice overlay. But I really want a bit of a darker area. Just to kind of like, I want the eye to move away. So like one of the tips I guess I could add, even though I'm not like a master at it or whatever, um, creating movement in your picture can be done in like several different ways. One of them is directing the eye, I guess, is really what I mean. One of the ways is to make some areas dark and some areas light. And what that causes is the person's eyes to move through your artwork from the dark area to the lighter area. So I do want, because there was nothing going on in this corner over here, I want that to be kind of like dark and move the eye across the page to more of the areas that have like features that I care about. That I care about sharing with people, I guess. Yeah. Which is really what it comes down to when you think about it. These are features in my painting that I want to share with people. That's cool. I like the way I put that. Sorry, sometimes I toot my own horn, but yeah, I've got features in this painting that I want to share with people, and I want to direct people's eyes to it. Muddle that out. All right, so that's kind of cool. All right, so got a pretty messy palette over here. I wonder if I can switch to using something else, but I'll just keep trucking along. Probably one of the things that I need to improve upon is keeping my palette clean. That is not something I've learned, but that's okay. I kind of want this to be really dry brush just so that it's like nice and rough, but I kind of want to get some highlight on this side of the kitty to kind of like really define where the cat is and where it's not. And also just introduce some color on this side so that it's not all, this dark mess. So I kind of like that. And then I want to grab some of my white and mix it into that yellow so it's not all just yellow. Dab of water just to make that a little bit more fluid. It's okay to be like rough with this because like it is like basically cat fur that's kind of lit up. All right. Okay, let me find some clean areas in it. Like this is looking pretty rough. I'm not very good at keeping a nice organized palette. That's something I need to work on if I'm going to be continuing down this road of creating art. Um, but I do want to come back to this kitty a little bit. Kind of like work on some of these details just to make it look more cat-like and not so rough. Got a pretty eye going, I think. I want to get some fur in here. The other thing that I'd like to do is just become better at painting animals in general. Because like I draw a lot of pictures of pets, and that's kind of where I'm at. I enjoy that. It's what people seem to enjoy me doing. Um, so I kind of want to stick with that. I like that as kind of like a focus. But I kind of also want to branch out a little bit. And, if I'm going to be working with people's pets, which I don't know, again, so I enjoy that. Sorry if you hear that. That's a bear over there drinking water out of a bowl. It sounds disgusting, I'm sure. Anyway, speaking of pets, I like how the background sort of turns out. I mean, can you try to stay in the line? You guys have every time I turn my back and I'm not paying attention, you guys have some of the greatest comments. Um, what do you hope to get for Christmas? More art supplies, obviously. An artist can never have too many art supplies. Paint, more paint. We all need more paint. And so do all of you guys. That's what all of you guys want for Christmas. You don't know it yet, but you guys are gonna watch my channel. You're gonna watch Ada's channel. You're gonna watch some of the other artists in here, and you're gonna be like, I want to paint. I want to paint pretty pictures. I want to draw pretty pictures. You want markers. You want colored pencils. You want charcoal. You want all that jazz. That's what you guys want for Christmas. And I know what you're thinking. You want a new car, you want clothes, you want all that fancy stuff. No, I already put in your order for Christmas. Santa's got it. He knows what's up. You guys are all getting art supplies for Christmas. That's how it works. We've already phoned in your order to basically Amazon. That's And there's a question I got for you guys that live in other countries. Like, what's the Amazon situation over there? Do you guys have, like, do you guys use something like Amazon? Is it Amazon itself? How's that work? Because basically over here in the States, everything, like, we have Walmarts, but we mostly, like, order things through, like, Amazon and stuff, and they get delivered, like, pretty quickly. I'm always fascinated how that kind of stuff works in other areas of the world. Sorry, don't talk with a paintbrush in your mouth. You want stuff to do digital art? Ah, digital art. Lost another one to digital art. Yeah, I get it. I get it. You don't need a lot. Um, you can use like a tablet, or they've got special drawing pads. I've got a small one around here. Where did I put that? I've got like a small Wacom tablet. I don't use it all that often because I try to stick with traditional art. But you don't need that much actually. Oh, yeah, cool. So like okay, so you can order things through Amazon, but it takes forever. That makes sense. Like they've got distribution centers like all over the United States. So that's like all we do is like order off of Amazon. Like I don't know. I'm sure it's different for everybody, but like a lot of the folks around here don't even go to the physical store anymore. It's all just ordering off of Amazon. Get a little bit of an ear going there. Um, I should not put the brushes in my mouth. Whatever that is on this particular brush tastes nasty. I don't know. All right, so here's a pro tip for you. Do not put your brushes in your mouth. If try printmaking. You do not need a lot for printmaking. I know that. Like you can, of course, you want all the fancy stuff. I get it, but I'm just saying, in order to make prints, you just need a block of wood or a potato even, and some ink. You don't need a lot of fancy stuff. You can get some simple wood carving tools. You can get like an X-Acto knife and a block of wood and go to town. I know that's not really what you're talking about, and I respect that. I'm just saying it does not take a lot to get into printing. Um, and take it from me, I actually went to school for printing back in the day, like a long time ago. Um, the graphic arts program at my high school um, had had like a printing part to it. So like you learned how to do the printing presses and all that stuff. So I don't know if it still works that way. Like I would imagine like a lot of it's like more computerized and stuff. But back then, um, like they taught you how to like run a printing press and all of that jazz. And there was a form of printing where they use like lead letters and stuff, and you just basically like actually put these inside of a cast, and I think it was called a cast, and run some ink over, and you're in business. I know that's not really what you're talking about. I just wanted to mention that it's not that difficult. Oh yeah, people keep calling them different names. I think they call him Woody. I never gave him a name myself, but I think that's his current name. You feel free to give him a name. I like to decorate him every now and then. So he's in the holiday spirit. He's wearing a Santa cap. He's my little elf. He helps me paint pictures. Again, the you guys see what I'm doing here. I'm just going basically over the same stuff I've already painted, and each time adding a little bit more detail as I go along. Kind of like breaking it up a little bit, adding more layers. That's that's the core of painting. You go for like big shapes, and then you start refining it with smaller shapes. I think I can use a bigger brush here too. I'm gonna try that. Let me go with this brush. I still haven't mastered all the different brushes for painting. Again, I mentioned it several times during this. So like if you guys have no clue that I am not a very experienced or skilled painter, um, I will constantly throw that out as a disclaimer that I'm still learning, and you guys are learning along with me, which is cool. But one of the things I think I need to practice more on is, figuring out what brushes are good for different parts and stuff like that. Like I end up using the same brushes over and over again, almost like I'm drawing with a pencil. And I think that's actually a deterrent for me, or like a challenge for me that I need to overcome, is I need to get out of that that drawing mentality and get more into the painting mentality, because it is completely different. And I need to really practice with the different um, brushes just to see which does better for different things. Like I've got this like almost like really small brush, almost like a pencil or a pen. I keep finding myself going back to that because I want to do that drawing, even though that's not appropriate. It's more appropriate to try out different brushes, see what works, see what I'm happy with, and experiment. Which is what all tonight is. I'm not actually like trying to create a masterpiece here. I'm just trying to experiment, get something that vaguely looks Christmassy. But I like this. I think it looks a bit like a kitty cat, which is good. It almost looks a little bit like my cat. I have a an orange cat, and I think this one's got longer fur, but it's in the same range as my cat. Are you able to create such good paintings with no undersketch? Oh, so I do have a comment on that. That's a great question. So, like, first off, it's hit or miss. I really don't know if it's going to come out very well. But I do know that part of the painting process. So you can. Oh, the name of my cat. My cat is the name is Archer. He was named after the cartoon. I don't know if they have it there in New Zealand, but he was named after Sterling Archer. So that's my kitty. So the question was, how do you create a picture without like an underdrawing? That's a great question. I'm stalling for time because I don't know the answer. No, the answer is it's almost like how I do my messy charcoal pictures or my messy pastel pictures. In the process, you're laying down a bunch of stuff, right? A bunch of medium and everything, and you start seeing the pattern in it. So, like, I've got a reference picture here of a cat, and I've got a reference picture here of a tree, but I didn't take the time to draw it out on paper first. I'm looking at my reference picture, and I'm like, okay, there's a lot of orange in here, so I'm just going to make a bunch. My camera died again. Give me 1 second. I'll try to fix this. Sometimes that happens. 1 second, I'll fix this. I love how like it interrupts me when I'm actually having like an important conversation. I hate when that happens. Uh, I think I can get it back. Give me 1 second. I think I might have got a text or something and that killed it. There we go. All right. Uh, Let me rotate this. Urgh, frustrating. Nope, that's not it. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, that's it. There you go. All right, cool. Back in business. All right, sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so oh, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the hey dog, we're not done. So sorry about that. Okay, so the way you do it is as you're making a big mess, right? So you're doing like you're doing what's called blocking in. So as you're creating color on the page, you're kind of like creating patterns that kind of like let you know where different anchor points are. So if you go back to the very beginning of this picture, I started just with the big mess of like this yellow ochre. But as I was laying it down, I'm like, okay, I kind of want the cat's fur to be over here. I kind of want the cat's head to be up here, and so on. So like for example, um, like that's my cat. I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, that's my cat. The cat's like, "You're painting me." As you're doing the paint, you're kind of like putting in like little ideas of where things might be. So if I really wanted to develop this picture fully, um, oh, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead and hop off if you need to. But if I wanted to really develop this picture fully, this right here is my under sketch, right? So like this little branch. Now I can come in and I can add further details into it, but that is literally my under sketch. So um, that's kind of how that works. You basically, as you're throwing down paint, you're doing this like blocking out sort of thing where that becomes your 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 sketch essentially. Now, I don't fault people who go the opposite direction where they like draw a pencil sketch first or something like that. There's no wrong way to create art, in my opinion. Um, so if that's what you want to do, go for it. But if you don't want to do that, that's how you get around it. You kind of block in your your picture and you kind of build off of it in multiple layers, keep adding to it, and so on. And that's kind of the way you have to do it if you want to do like a decent picture in let's see where oh we're at 2 hours already. Yeah, I probably have to like call this short uh pretty soon. I do want to kind of keep these things like in the 2 hour range. I'll go a little bit longer, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish this tonight because there is like a lot more details that I need to add. But I think this was good progress. Something about actually just holding this palette and stuff. This is nice. Sometimes you just gotta fake it until you make it. Like in my mind, I'm like practicing being an artist and stuff. So like holding this thing, it makes me feel like a real artist, and that for some reason that's rewarding to me. But yeah, you just throw down like a bunch of paint and you kind of like develop a pattern from there, and you just work with that pattern. And sometimes you have to refine it. Like if I find that this cat is too wide, for example, I can kind of shorten it up by adding more shadow over here, more light, or whatever the case may be. So you're constantly refining it as well. That actually does matter a lot in portraits. So like if you look at my pastel portraits, for example, you may see me move or reshape a nose because it doesn't really match the person. It doesn't capture that likeness until I do. So you're constantly refining your drawing as you're going along. And it's the same with this painting. So like I could spend, I don't know, like 40 more hours on this picture and just like refine it to like the degree that I'm not gonna, because I'm not gonna invest that much time in this painting, but you could do that, and some people do. Hopefully that answers your question. It's a great question, by the way. It looks absolutely amazing already. Hey, I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, it's a good start. I keep saying that. It's a good start. I do need some more. Keep putting that nasty thing in my mouth. Add some yellow ochre. There we go. So I kind of want to define this window seal up here a little bit better, because like the reason why it's so um, light up here is because there's actually like a window sill up there. So again, continuing to refine the picture over time. I don't have to draw an underpainting or like an under sketch, because I can kind of figure it out. Okay, I've got this white area up here. Let's make that look more like a window sill. And the way I'm doing that is I really need that to be a lot more water to it. So just kind of creating kind of a line there. Bring that across. And then just kind of like, I don't want it to be like perfect or anything like that. I want it to look kind of like there's some curtain drapes over it. But I need some better brushes, guys. That's what I want for Christmas. I want better brushes so that they don't fall apart and I get these like little hairs in my picture. Try to get a straight line there. But yeah, so now I've got a window, right, with curtains draped over it. So it's still very abstract and expressionist, but let me add got some yellow up here. I need to reactivate because it's kind of dried. Got some white here. Get a lot more water up in there. There you go. Have a green color. So get some yellows in here. I know that probably, well, it does show up on camera a little bit. Cool. Kind of yellow that up a little bit so that like the sun's still peeking through. Get some really make that look like a curtain, like just over a window or something like that. All right. So I still have a lot to do on the kitty, but I probably should wrap this up soon. So I do want to do a couple of things. Let me really get this yellow going, because I do want kind of like some lights up in that tree, and just some general lights and all over the place. This is one of those like, what are little last minute things I can do while I have you guys here to kind of like just really like kind of tie the picture together as much as I can. I've been ignoring my bourbon, I've noticed, so I'm going to take a dab of that real quick before I start doing this. Good stuff. All right, so real quick, hopefully this will work. I want some areas where there's like just like little light balls of light and stuff kind of floating around. These might be like Christmas lights. Maybe they're like little floating orbs. I don't know. Oh, that bourbon's rough for there. Like I drank too much of it at one time. One of these days, I might actually add a component where I'm actually talking about the different bourbons I drink. I don't really know what the YouTube rules are and stuff like that. I don't know if like you have to like follow certain guidelines or something when you're talking about alcohol or whatever. But um, I might actually go into some more detail on like how do you pick a better bourbon or so on. Hey Ada, welcome back. Hey, I'm very happy that you got that position at your school. That's cool. So these little dots and stuff are going to be lights. I'm just throwing them in kind of randomly, just getting, you know, some ideas of where different lights might be. They're not going to be like orange. That's just the start of them. Like up here in the little dark area or something like that. I knew going into this that the scene was going, did it again. Yeah, so that's the thing telling me that I probably should hop off. But what did I do to fix it last time? I forget. I think it's because I get like texts or something. Yeah, I get. Oh, okay. Every single time. Let's see. Is that gonna work? Nope. Give me 1 second. So it pops up with like a Google something or another. There you go. All right. Nobody say Google because it keeps popping up with the Google Assistant or something. I gotta stop saying Google. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I knew that this picture would be complex or something like that, but it's a little bit more involved than I thought it would be. Anyway, so now I've got that orange-ish. Let's uh let's add some yellow to it. This is kind of like how you can make something kind of glowing. Like this works for like candles or whatever. Yeah, I've got to get a better I've got to get a proper camera and not be using my phone. That's what the problem is. That little screen that comes up, that's the program I use that connects my phone to my computer. Um, oh, since you do live streaming and stuff, maybe you might be interested in this. I use OBS Studio, so I connect my phone to my computer and then tie it in with like OBS so that I can use this webcam that's looking at me, make it all work together and stuff. But it only works well if you've got, you know, a decent camera phone, which I think I need to upgrade to get that going. Anyway, little orbs of light and stuff through here. Oh, that's not. Basically three colors involved. So you've got the orange, you come back with like a layer of yellow, and then sure your reference picture comes up. And then I can kind of work it out into like kind of a glow around it. Let me use this brush here. See if I can kind of blend that out a little bit. That's something I have to practice with a little bit, I think. Getting like glowy lights and stuff going. But it doesn't look too bad. It looks like the cat's. So unfortunately, there is a lot more I have to do with this picture. So I don't think I'm going to get it done tonight. But just to kind of give you guys a preview, I want some gifts down here. So there's got to be some boxes here. I thought he'd be sitting, the kitty would be sitting on like a kind of a candy cane Santa outfit, kind of like basically this kind of red fabric, kind of a blanket here. And then, maybe an open box with some sort of gift in it or something like that. So I do think this is a good start. I'm getting there. I like this style too. It's kind of got this illustration kind of style to it. So I'm pretty happy with that. Um, but let's see, it being yeah, so we're already like 2 hours and 10 minutes into this. So I think I am gonna call this done for tonight. Not done. And I'm gonna continue working on it off camera. And then I'll give you guys like an update tomorrow. Like I'll post it to my community tab so that you guys can check out, how well it went, or whether I gave up on it and just threw it away or not. We'll see what happens. I think I can turn this into a decent picture. You know, it's pretty rough at this point, but I think it'll get there. This is basically the same kind of process that I used for those Halloween illustrations I did. So if you're wondering where I'm going with it, that's kind of the idea. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and call this. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Basically, my dogs only give me 2 hours before they feel like they need to go out and use the restroom, and then my camera's messing up anyway, so I'll sort that all out. But yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Hopefully, you guys are having a great Christmas season, or whatever you guys celebrate. I'm not here to judge, but I know that that's coming up in the next, you know, 2 weeks or something like that. We're down to the crunch time. I hope you guys get all the gifts that you're looking for. I hope you guys, your entire season is filled with joy and happiness and all of that jazz, all that Christmas stuff. So I like that some new people came in here. Everybody say hi to Hater, who I've met before, but new to you guys. Ada returning. She's a young artist. She's out there. I encourage you guys to check out her channel. She does amazing work. Kid, we always love Kid, and then Larry and Bill and all of them were in here earlier. Husker. I appreciate you guys, all of you guys. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do more live streams this year. I'm going to try to at least fit one more in, but we'll see how it goes. If I don't see you guys this year, I'm still going to be doing a couple of like standalone videos, whether I do a live stream or not. But I won't be here Friday. Just to let you guys know, I have a prior engagement. But I should probably be able to do one next Tuesday. So, well, I'll see you when I see you. But if I don't see you guys, I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So that's it. Oh, sorry. Ada has a question before I go off. Hurry up. What's your question? All right, so while we're waiting on that, let me introduce you to my puppy Bear. Hey Bear, you want to say hi to the camera? Camera's up there. Say hi. She's shy. She's so shy. What does Team Olivia? That's a great question. So, a friend of mine named Olivia. Olivia. She's got cancer, and she's battling that, and she's doing really well. She's had the cancer for a couple of months now. And she's gone through all of the chemotherapy, and I think she's in the process of radiation now before she does surgery, where they're going to just yank it all out and then she'll have a clean bill of health. Well, I'm not that superstitious, but I thought, well, to show support, I will wear this t-shirt every single time I do a live stream to show her support. This is a great question. I'm glad you brought it up because I forget sometimes to mention it, but if you guys want to send her well wishes, just put it out into the universe that, hopefully she'll get better soon. Well, breast cancer. So the pink ribbons are for breast cancer. So she has breast cancer, but she's doing very well and expected full recovery. And I like to think it's because, we're sending that healing energy out into the world. But she's an artist as well. I'll put a link in the description of some of her art. She does here I've got a piece here. Sorry, that's kind of weird. So she does this kind of art. It's actually kind of cool. It's it's kind of alcohol inks and stuff like that. Now she's not. You guys don't need to buy anything. She doesn't need your money or anything like that. What she really needs is for you guys to send some positive vibes her way. So. Dog's over here eating the other dog. So I'm going to put a link to her Instagram in the description so that you guys can check her out. Just drop her a line, say Jeremy said hi, and or Jeremy sent me your way, and just send her some, like, healing energy and stuff like that. So, dogs, we're not done yet. All right. So hopefully that answers your questions. I should have mentioned it because, like, I am in the habit of wearing this until she gets better. And hopefully that'll be soon. Hopefully that'll be like in the beginning of the year and stuff like that. But I'll keep you guys informed. All right. So the dogs are like eating each other. I think they want to go out. So I'm going to go ahead and call it. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully that'll be next Tuesday. So have a good one. Bye. The dog's coming up along. Yeah, sure. I'll put that link in there. All right. See you guys. Bye.